Light 'em up in the ring, light 'em up, shoot, shine, do your thing. Light 'em up in the ring, light 'em up, shoot, shine, do your thing. Light 'em up, go dumb, go stupid, yeah, we undefeated. Sucker free, we got the seats heated. Let's face it, you bout to get a beat down. Less talking, let's take it to the streets now. Ain't gonna be no rematch, why you wanna fight? Touchdown on sight, yeah. Turn off the light, oh, turn off the light, let's get it poppin'. Go dumb. When you see me moving, bodies dropping. Move some. I'm about to go sick. Call Earl. I'm turning up like E40, not your average girl. I'm turning up. We can rock like Rocky. Make you tap it. Ghost ride the whip. Look at my drip. This ain't a copy. We got a night if you wanna throw hands. When they see me fight, they wanna throw bands. Go dumb, go stupid. Yeah, we undefeated. Sucker free, we got the seats heated. Light 'em up in the ring. Light 'em up. Shoot, shine, do your thing. Light 'em up. Light 'em up in the ring. Light 'em up. Shoot, shine, do your thing. Light 'em up.
It's time for the main event. It's the Shoe Shot.
¿Qué onda, vatos locos? Damas y caballeros, it's your boy Dave in the 702 for a special quick recap on a Saturday afternoon. Undisputed for the third time. Unbelievable. A pound-for-pound legend, living legend, Alexander Usyk, the Ukrainian champion, gets back his IBF title back from Daniel Dubois in the rematch. A very exciting short fight. Almost timed this thing perfectly. I put the timing for 2:45, anticipating that somebody was going to get knocked out. Now, we didn't even do the prediction show, so Drew didn't get to say Usyk in 5. But if Usyk's, if you're out there and you're watching you just saw the fight, hop on. Good to see everybody. Good to see Jose El Compita, JC, SB. I literally just checked. The undercard has begun for Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios. It is on YouTube, so I appreciate you guys for tuning in to hear my thoughts. And actually, let me just drop, if you guys want to come on here, I will drop the link. El Compita says, Shoe Shine Boxing, glad to see the legend Usyk do what he does best, masterclass performance. JC says, Usyk whooped the whole block once, now circling the block again. SP with the thumbs up. Honestly, the first round is the only round. I don't know if anybody here gave any rounds to Dubois, but I did like the right hands that Dubois was landing successfully in round 1. After that, by round 2, 3, and 4, well, I gave those. That was a clean sweep to, of course, the champion here, Alexander Usyk. And in round 5, he got caught with some vicious hooks on the inside trading, and it's all she wrote, right? Great fight weekend indeed, guys. The PBC card at the MGM Grand. I live here now in Las Vegas. I am not going. I'm not feeling that great today, but I'm going to kick back and watch all the exciting combat sports actions. We got, obviously, the main card in Las Vegas has undergone. Former champion Mark Magsayo is fighting right now, and the undercard of this PBC card is really good. I think it's really good. A solid card. Salute Carlos M. Chicano Prophet is in the building. Also, obviously, we're all going to be anticipating Bam Rodriguez fighting Cafu for a unification. He could add another title to his legacy and one step closer to becoming undisputed in that division. A very exciting fight. I myself personally invested in the Macumbi fight, as I hope to see my friend Francisco Esparza of Las Vegas in his corner again as his assist man. So we will see. I'm not entirely sure if he's going to be on that, but I'm going to be watching that card closely. And then we're going to go over to the, obviously, and watch the PBC card, where we're going to see, hey, 38 years old, Usyk becomes undisputed again for the third time in his career, illustrious career, 3-time undisputed. So now we got to ask ourselves, where do we put Usyk on the pound-for-pound list, today's pound-for-pound list? And boxing scene already wants to know, do you guys think that he's pound-for-pound number 1 in the world? Salute, Big Spooky. Good to see you guys on a Saturday afternoon, a full day of boxing. We just got through with the O2 Arena. 80,000 freaking fans. The UK fans are the greatest boxing fans in the world. Tell me otherwise. Right? 80,000 people. Wiley says, what time is Pac-Man Barrios card? That's a great question. Dog, I wish I have it on my phone on Twitter, but I can't access it right now. It looks like that was going to be the last fight of the night, approximately around 8 o'clock. In the 8 o'clock hours will be the Pac-Man versus Barrios. That is a stat card, the PBC card. They do anticipate that Bam will be done with this fight somehow. And it looks like even better, if you're a fan of the UFC, shout out to Wile Coyote. If you're a fan of the UFC, that tremendous trilogy fight, right? It's the third one, Pariah, and it should be on after the Barrios. The main event for the UFC should be on after the Barrios. If you are able to afford all those fights, or if you've got one of those little streaming devices, I don't care. I don't care. Enjoy all of them. Enjoy all of them today. I'll be doing exactly that. I'm going to do my best to do a really quick recap, 30 minutes or more, and then I'm going to go get some of my favorite Mexican food in Las Vegas to have a little feast for tonight. So, guys, how did you see this performance by Usyk at 38 years old? Becomes undisputed again for the third time in his career. And I just got to listen a little bit to that post-fight interview where he dropped some names. Not excited about Joshua, but I think the UK fans can appreciate that he does mention the Gypsy King himself. Obviously, somebody that would fill that arena up all over again. And speaking of 80,000 screaming fans, the tickets to the Canelo Alvarez fight. Shout out to my boy Fonzie 619 who got me this hat that matches. I said I wasn't going to wear it, but damn, it looks so good. I said I wasn't going to wear it because I think it's kind of a collector's item with the thing underneath it. I haven't seen these for sale other than from what he told me. Only at the taqueria in San Diego. Shout out to Mom Food. Good to see you on a Saturday afternoon. I appreciate everything you're doing. And she's doing some awesome things late at night, guys. If you're on YouTube, follow Mom Food Plan on things because she's now doing the late night stuff, midnight streams. Usyk versus Caballero would be fire. Good to see you, Champy. Yeah, that would be. Caballero's have some impressive performances as of late. That would also be a good fight. But it's all in Usyk's hands who he wants to fight as the undisputed heavyweight king. They did take that IBF title away from him once because, he couldn't fulfill the obligation of fighting Daniel Dubois immediately. So Daniel Dubois, like the IBF does, IBF stripped Canelo Alvarez. They took that title away and he won it back respectfully. I was mentioning you guys that Canelo Alvarez fight, obviously. Tickets went on sale this week. First dibs went to the Las Vegas Raiders season ticket holders. And then it went to the general public. At one point, 90,000 people were in line to see if they could buy tickets to the Canelo Alvarez fight. I have not even bothered. I did not bother. I had a great conversation with one of our co-hosts here, Mario, at Infighting FX. Whether or not I can successfully get press passes is going to be a long shot, considering it's Dana White, who is the lead promoter, and I have no experience getting credentials from the UFC. But it's a long shot we're taking. If not, I guess I'll have to take out a second mortgage or a loan to afford those tickets because they start at some ridiculous. I've heard some people say they're getting upper seats for $400, but honestly, guys, anything less than $1,500 per seat is probably not going to be a very good experience unless you just want to be there. Now, as somebody that lives in Las Vegas, I could go to the Mandalay Bay and be part of all the festivities that are going to happen early in the day, and then take an Uber back home and be home in 10 minutes to watch the fight on Netflix. So I don't know. Do I have a Canelo viewing party at home? Or do I spend $3,000 so my wife and I could go hang out with all the guys? And thankfully, shout out to my wife. She's the kind of girl, if you guys have met my wife, she's the kind that can easily hang with the boys. So we'll see. That all remains to be seen. It's less than 2 months away. What did you guys think of Usyk's performance? Great to see everybody in here. Again, I know PBC fight has just officially started. That's over there at the MGM Grand. Speaking of stadium stuff, this has really been cracking me up. Cracking me up. I don't know how I feel about this. But you all saw the stadium story that went viral, right? La Sancha. Well, I'm enjoying the shit out of all these memes because apparently there's been other people right, that have been caught cheating, doing this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, sure, he's a CEO of a tech company, but there have been other famous people who have been caught in the same exact shoes. I'm talking about, none other than, in bed with the referees, also caught cheating. Patrick Mahomes, sorry, Chiefs fans, caught cheating, also him. There's been plenty of people who this potentially could happen to, and so I laughed because where's my co-host, Philly Irish? Apparently somebody yesterday went to the Phillies game. Shout out to all the Philadelphia fans. Shout out to my co-host, Drevo. Phillies, that's right. Now, if you're gonna go to the Canelo fight, you might want to bring one of these. You might not want to bring your Sancha or your Sancho to the Canelo fight because you just might end up on the kissy cam. So shout out to this Phillies fans who made sure he brought a cardboard cutout to say, this is my wife. Shout out to One-Eyed Willie, good to see you. Mom Food, great to see you as well. I mentioned that. And Veronica also in the house. By the way, Veronica, I got white tees too. Look at this brand new white V-neck. Do I get a compliment on that? Teach says Usyk is great. Undeniably, guys. And I regret that I wasn't able to do a preview show about today's exciting matchups. I'm going to go over some of the betting odds really quickly. If you still have the ability in your state to make a wager, I'm going to be looking at the DraftKings really quickly to see where you should put your money at. And, you can take my advice or not take my advice, but underway for the PBC card. And again, Phillies, shout out to all those Phillies fans. SB mentioned something very, very important. A fight that I was very excited to see on this PBC card was the rematch between Angel Fierro of Tijuana, Baja California versus Pitbull Cruz. And unfortunately, guys, and I respect the hell out of Robert Garcia and his Robert Garcia team. Shout out to Sonteo Media, who's very close to them. He says, I appreciate that, Anthony. Thank you so much, Anthony Manzano. Shout out to you. And I know that Sonteo Media might have a little bit more information, but I respect Robert Garcia for what he did. Unfortunately, it takes away a fantastic rematch. We still have a fantastic rematch on the card. The Tim Tszyu Fundora rematch is going to be explosive and violent, but this one promised fireworks. 1,400 punches exchanged between Pitbull Cruz and Angel Fierro in what was one of the most fan-friendly fights I have seen in 2025. He says, Robert Garcia says, I want to start off by apologizing to all the fans that made the trip to Vegas, to Pitbull and his team, and everyone involved in the fight. I made the decision this morning to not allow my fighter, Angel Fierro, to cut any more weight and instructed our team to take him to the hospital. I have a responsibility to not only prepare my fighters to fight, but also to keep him safe. The last few were going to be too dangerous for him to cut, and I made the decision to pull him out. Again, I apologize to everyone involved. From what I could see at the press conference on Wednesday, he was probably nowhere close to making weight. And then Thursday, that final stare down, trying to make weight, obviously. Maybe they could have warned the other people that it was a long shot. He had no choice. Probably would have got his ass beat very badly. And again, I can only speak on when I say that when Schofield pulled out of the Stevenson fight, I have no inside knowledge, but Schofield took himself during the week of the weight cut on a Wednesday. He took himself to the hospital too. And I probably think that, it probably had something to do with a very bad weight cut or stomach issues, digestive issues, obviously. And Schofield didn't want to sacrifice that unblemished, undefeated record. He wasn't ready to fight. And in this case, Fierro must have been wildly off weight, very wildly, coming into the week of fight camp, not being ready to fight or very far away from his actual fighting weight that he agreed to. So he pulls out. But we have a replacement that was supposed to be on the YouTube portion of the card, which is going on right now. And he's huge. And he's undefeated. And he's young, untested. So we have somebody ready to fight Pitbull Cruz today. I did see Arnold Barboza Jr., who fights with, he fights with Matchroom Boxing now, right? He's no longer with Top Rank. He did post on Twitter yesterday, I'm in LA, I'm ready to fight. Call me in. Now, him not being a PBC fighter, I would have loved to see Arnold Barboza Jr. come in and fight Pitbull Cruz at the last minute, but they didn't afford him the opportunity. They just went with somebody in-house. Shout out to Anthony Manzano. Again, Champy, good to see you. He says, Jesus Ramos should get the winner of Zu Fundora. I wholeheartedly agree with that because he's done everything so far and been so far nowhere close to getting a title opportunity, unfortunately. That loss on the undercard of the Canelo Alvarez card, where he was the co-main event, the loss to Lubin, a very poor decision on my personal opinion of the judges, cost him dearly. It put him at the back of the pack of the rankings at 154 pounds. He's in-house. Whoever wins this belt tonight, whoever walks away the winner, whether it's Fundora or whether it's Tim Tszyu, should fight an in-house PBC fighter. They want to keep the belt in-house, give him the opportunity. As far as Erickson Lubin, I believe he's in negotiation, and it's almost wrapped up for him to fight the IBF super middleweight champion, Bakhtar Murtazaliev. So Lubin has been in some tough fights. He's fought Fundora, got his face rearranged. Believe he's also the first guy to drop Fundora, and then Brian Mendoza is the only champion, the only guy to ever drop the current champion Fundora. So it is possible to beat Fundora. Let's quickly look at some of these odds. Drew, if you want to hop on, let me know. If not, I'm just going to run through some of these odds really quickly. Fierro pulls out. I'm very excited about this fight coming up, guys. This is going to be one of the sleeper fights. Macumbi is a tough guy who does have a lot of power. If he can hurt Pacheco early on in the fight, he may get the confidence that he needs to carry through the entire fight. Now, I'm probably not going to pick Macumbi to win this one. Let's look at the odds for that. Anthony says, Shushan, who's a better style matchup for Jesus, Sebastian or Tim? I'm going to say it's going to be Tim. Tim Tszyu would be a better style matchup, especially what we saw from Bakhtar Murtazaliev expose holes in Tim Tszyu's defensive game. I think that would absolutely benefit the technician, who the cleaner technician is Jesus Ramos Jr. I don't think anybody wants to fight Sebastian Fundora. So I say shout out to Brian Mendoza, who was unbelievably able to knock him out. He was the only person to do so. And I came across Brian Mendoza. I've come across him a few times here in Las Vegas. One time I caught him and Barrios in the lobby of the Cosmopolitan, and I got a chance to interview both of them. And I'll tell you that side by side, Mario Barrios is not only wider in the shoulders and in the back, he's also considerably taller than Brian Mendoza. Brian Mendoza, the smaller fighter, is the guy who knocked out Fundora. Unbelievable when you size them up that he was able to accomplish that. Mario Barrios stands at 6 feet tall. Let me quickly put up the tail of the tape for the main event. I'll have you guys look at that while I look at these odds. Excuse me, guys. The Pac-Man tail of the tape. Yeah, that's true, Anthony. Fundora gives up a lot of his his height. He does that often. And that's actually what probably makes it more difficult and why he was not having success early against Tim Tszyu. It's curious whether or not, I'm curious if you guys think that it's going to be easier going for him in the rematch now that they are well aware of each other's styles, or if we're going to get an impressive stoppage by Tim Tszyu. It looked like he was on his way to stopping him, or if at this point, Sebastian Fundora has learned from all of these fights and is going to be implementing what he's learned into today's performance. And while I talk about Sebastian Fundora, guys, if you want to check him out on social media and leave him a comment, he has done something remarkable on top of already being a two-time champion or a two-belt holder. He's been accepted into Harvard. Yeah, it was posted today. He's been accepted into Harvard. And when I got a chance to interview him, he's a remarkably intelligent man. I really think highly of Sebastian Fundora and his sister, Gabriela Fundora. So, guys, has Pac-Man ever faced a 6-footer? I think, Oscar De La Hoya stands about 5'11". So, a young Pac-Man was able to overcome that height advantage easily. But this is no longer, Father Time wins all. So Mario Barrios, speaking of the main event, tail of the tape, 6 feet versus 5.5 feet. 46 years old versus 30. Mario Barrios right now currently at DraftKings is the negative 275 favorite. You have to bet $275 to win $800, and Manny Pacquiao a plus 210 underdog. Man, when was he ever an underdog? All right, in the other main event, Jesse Bam Rodriguez trying to become another unified champion on his way to becoming undisputed in his division, is a negative 3,000 favorite. Negative 3,000 favorite. And I'm going to say this, that I think he's going to stop Cafu, but Cafu is a very young, talented, but inexperienced fighter. Cafu's got less than 12 professional fights, and Bam Rodriguez has already fought some of the legends in the lower divisions and beat them. So, not sure if you guys saw this one floating around social media. That does look like Mario Barrios, man. That does look like Mario Barrios. I'm pretty sure that's why a lot of female boxing fans like Mario Barrios, is because they're always reminded of Blood In and Blood Out when they see him. I don't know who the guy on the left is, but I guess it's supposed to be Manny Pacquiao. So in that other main event, Jesse Bam Rodriguez, a negative 3,000 favorite. That's a lot of money you got to put on him to even win $100. Diego Pacheco versus Trevor McCumbee, a negative 1,800 favorite. In favor of Diego Pacheco. Come on, guys. Really? Trevor McCumbee, a plus 900 underdog? There's some value there, guys. I don't think Trevor McCumbee is going to particularly win, but if there was some value in that, I would say Trevor McCumbee hurting Diego Pacheco early, and potentially, if he can capitalize on that, he could stop Diego Pacheco. This is a very tough test for Diego Pacheco. And also, SB says, Champy, yes, he did. He fought Margarito, who was 5'11". And I think that's where Oscar De La Hoya stands at, either 5'10 or 5'11, if anybody knows who wants to put that in there. But he did extremely well against Margarito. I can remember that fight very prominent in my memories, showing up to work on Monday when I had a lot of Filipino coworkers when I worked and lived in the Bay Area. Shout out to the Filipino fans. Pinoy's coming out here to see Manny Pacquiao do their things. I know that a lot of them came from San Diego and the Bay Area to see the legend one more time. And I remember that day that Margarito got busted up by Manny Pacquiao. How much my coworkers gave me shit for that one. But that's a great thing about boxing, right? Is on Monday, coming into either your office or your warehouse and talking around the water cooler. Do people still do that, or is it strictly being done on the internet? For myself personally, this is my water cooler now, guys. I've been doing this channel for several years now, just to talk to other boxing fans, just like me, that share the passion for the sport. Let's see here. Based on how he fights, he reminds me a little bit of Marco Antonio Barrera with more power. Do you agree with that? Are we talking about Pacquiao? Those were great fights. Those were absolute. Oh, I'm talking about Bam in my previous comment. Okay, Anthony, I do agree with that. And I think Bam is, I'm happy to see him get this unification. If he's successful, like I think he is, and I think he's going to get a stoppage later tonight, then he's only one fight away, which they intend to do at the end of this year. It's already been announced for Riyadh season that he will get to fight the Argentinian fighter Martinez, El Puma Martinez, and he could be undisputed by the end of 2025. Right now, obviously, Usyk becoming undisputed for the third time. If he can get another defense if Tyson Fury's willing to fight him this year, boy, it's going to be hard to say he's not fighter of the year. Could Terrence Crawford be in that conversation if he pulls off an upset and becomes undisputed in 3 divisions? SB says Golden Boy is 5'11", as well as was Margarito. All right, guys, who else is on this card? Let's talk about the most anticipated rematch of the night, obviously, is going to be the one that, if you guys go follow our boy D-Styles Boxing on YouTube. D-Style and I got to Well, because of D-Style, who's very close to the management team of Tim Tszyu, we got to see that very first fight. A press week, we were there, and although I didn't go to that fight, D-Style did, and we interviewed them. It was fantastic. It was a bloodbath. It was a fight we didn't anticipate even happening because of the last-minute replacement, Sebastian Fundora. I'm sorry, that was the last-minute thing, right? Tim Tszyu was not supposed to fight Sebastian Fundora. He was supposed to fight the old fighter, right? And he got hurt, and Sebastian Fundora ends up fighting him. Sebastian Fundora walks away with the title. Sebastian Fundora is the underdog tonight, a plus 125, and Tim Tszyu a negative 133. Those are some funky odds, guys. Is it a 50-50 fight? Tim Tszyu, 2 brutal losses in a row, being knocked out, devastating, and a devastating loss, KO loss to Bakhtar Murtazaliev, one where he looked like he got seriously hurt and could have taken something off of his career. He comes back and beats Joey Spencer in a good performance against Joey Spencer, who I think we can all agree at 154 was probably one of the weaker fighters in the roster of PBC. Never been a champion. Joey Spencer was, he was outclassed easily by Jesus Ramos Jr. of Arizona. And this is a fight where Tim Tszyu and Sebastian Fundora, I expect it to be equally as violent. I'm going to hope that I don't see a devastating cut. And if there is a big cut, because fighting Sebastian Fundora, you guys have seen the kind of damage he's done against people like Erickson Lubin. You should expect that you might get cut. And Tim Tszyu's team, I think if there is a cut, I'm going to be very curious what they do this time. Because Sebastian Fundora does have the titles. Does Tim ask to continue to fight even though he may succumb to a cut near the eyes or eyelids or where it may affect him? Does Tim Tszyu say fuck it like he did the first time? Does he say let's go? Shout out to LA Shadow. Good to see you. I appreciate it. A great day for combat sports fans. Obviously, PBC, Manny Pacquiao's here in Las Vegas, and the UFC. You guys can catch the UFC main event after all this exciting boxing. Drew, if you're still listening, who do you pick in this rematch? It's very 50-50 to me. I think Tim Tszyu, if he doesn't sustain a cut, can figure out a way to beat the Towering Inferno, as did Brian Mendoza. And Brian Mendoza had the guts to go down to Australia and got railroaded by Tim Tszyu. He got whooped by Tim Tszyu down in Australia. And Sebastian Fundora has a big loss to Brian Mendoza. So I think if Tim Tszyu comes in tonight, aggressive, but watches his defense and avoids getting cut, I think he can walk away the winner, which is why Sebastian Fundora is the underdog. Again, guys, Sebastian Fundora, an easy guy to root for, just got accepted into Harvard and is a world champion. Let's go. All right, in the undercard, we still got that exciting Brandon Figueroa versus Yoet Gonzalez. Brandon Figueroa, the self-proclaimed heartbreaker, who was wearing a very interesting outfit at the press conference, guys. He looked like a vaquero, but he looked like also like he was singing in a Mexican band, and he was shirtless. He's the only one shirtless. The heartbreaker, the favorite. Negative 260 versus Yoet Gonzalez. Yoet Gonzalez has had some good performance recently, but I don't know what he's got left. I think Brandon Figueroa's got a little bit left. Brandon Figueroa, the former world champion, negative 260 favorite. I'm going with Brandon Figueroa on this one. Jesus Ramos also beat Mendoza too. A lot of people forget. That was a great fight, and Jesus has spoken very highly of Brian Mendoza. They both speak very respectfully about each other, and Jesus always says that Brian Mendoza is a true dog. That's true. Yeah, he also beat Joey Spencer very easily. Also, he had a very successful, what's this guy from Stockton, man? I appreciate the guy who just lost on Pro Box last Saturday from Stockton. He also beat that guy. The guy's name escapes my memory, though. Usyk Cruz versus Omar Salcido opens up at a humongous negative 1,100 favorite against Omar Salcido, who is undefeated, much taller, guys. This fight might surprise us. This fight might surprise us. Wiley, if you got a chance, man, you can go onto YouTube because they are already fighting on the PBC channel on YouTube. Magsayo, round 8 of 10. And also want to remind everybody, thank you so much, Champy. Appreciate that. Vladimir 24K Hernandez, that's exactly what I was thinking about. That guy from Stockton, man, he brings it. Win or lose, he brings it. Heavy hands and a true warrior. I think he lost the past Saturday. I missed that on Pro Box, but also, yeah, he's got a nice little resume going. And I think somebody mentioned earlier, it's time. It's time to give Jesus Ramos an opportunity, potentially, of the winner of tonight between Sebastian Ventura and Tim Tszyu. And I don't want anybody to think I'm ignoring them. Anthony Manzano says, I have Sebastian winning this 5-piece. I do not trust him and his trainers at all, fixing his defensive issues. That's it. That's a great point. And that's what we're going to be looking for, is have they fixed some of those defensive issues? Because sometimes fighters are just set in their ways. And Tim is a fighter whose offense has always got him out of situations. And he's been able to outland and outwork opponents like Brian Mendoza and even when he beat the former champion down in Australia, he beat a former champion that had a win over who's that champion? He beat a champion in Australia. That's the first time I said, okay, that's pretty good, man. I'll make sure to have my names all in check here, guys. But let's look. Also, Gary Russell Jr. returns against Hugo Castaneda. Gary Russell Jr., former Olympian, former featherweight champion of the world, who's fought many guys, opens up as a negative 1,800 favorite. I'll be interested to see how he does, because he's been away from the ring for nearly 3 years. Can he make a run for a featherweight title again? What can he still do? Or is this fight even at featherweight? That fight gets underway today. I believe it might be on the free card here on PBC. Last but not least, speaking of featherweights, Alan David Picasso, Mexican featherweight. Fantastic skill set, fantastic height and reach for the featherweight division. Was being discussed early in 2025 to potentially fight the monster Inoue. And he's on this card, so don't sleep on him. In fact, he's fighting a relative of the Kamita family. We just saw Kamita fight for a world title opportunity and come up short against a Mexican fighter. So we have another Kamita from Japan fighting Alan David Picasso of Mexico City. You guys want to keep your eyes on him, because for him to get a dream shot against somebody like Inoue, he's got to look very impressive, and that fight should be coming up very, very shortly. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Tommy, great to see you. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well in the Bay Area. Obviously, tonight, we got Pacquiao versus Barrios, and that's not them, guys. Again, let me give you guys the tail of the tape. Oh, that's the other tail of the tape, by the way. 21-0 versus Cafu. This is the other fight on DAZN tonight for the 115-pound unification title fight, 5'4 versus 5'6. And the reach advantage actually goes to Bam, 25 and 26 years old, respectfully. Very important. Bam has a 39% connect ratio, highest of all fighters right now. Just shy of David Benavidez, Shakur Stevenson, Canelo Alvarez, and Gervonta Davis also on that top 5 connect list. Very, very impressive. So, guys, that's all I got for today. The PBC fights have started, and later the DAZN fights for that world title fight that I just talked about will be on. If you missed it, go watch the fight, the replay right now. Alexander Usyk becomes, for the 3rd time in his career, an undisputed champion. He wins back his IBF title in an exciting 5th round knockout of Daniel Dubois, who he beat before. Now, in that first fight, I just want to add, I've always been of the opinion that I thought that shot that Dubois landed on Usyk was probably fair, and that Usyk had played it up, that it was a low blow. But it don't matter what I think, guys. Usyk has now beaten Daniel Dubois twice, stopped him twice, and there's probably zero reason to see them rematch ever again. Why? Not for me. Usyk moves on to become undisputed again, and he talked about fighting the Gypsy King. Hopefully it'll happen. Hey guys, I appreciate everybody that stopped in for a quick, short live on Saturday. We will be back to talk about all the fights on Monday. I guarantee it. I know sometimes I'm on Wednesdays. Monday night after 7:30 p.m., we will be back. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, make sure you subscribe so you guys know that we're live. But Monday night, we'll resume with a recap of the entire Saturday, all the fights this Saturday. Great to see everybody. I hope you all have a great day. Peace.